put my hat on before I forget. Yep. All right, that's better. So what's going on, chat room? It's late Friday, and I don't think I'm gonna do this for too long. So this is gonna be Ask Me Anything Friday. I did say yesterday that I would make today a non-political topic, so I'm sticking to that. Today is Asking Me Anything Friday. Um, of course, if you want to ask me something political, I'll answer that. But I didn't have a political topic for today. I said that unless something, this news breaking happens today, that I would pursue some apolitical topic. So, what more apolitical can I get than an Ask Me Anything format? Plus, it's Friday, so most people aren't heavily invested in, I don't think, talking about anything um, really gripping on a late Friday night. Actually, it's midnight, so it's actually Saturday now. Same thing. So, what's up, Lumen? What's going on, officer? Uh, I think you saw my. I know you commented yesterday or whatever about the voting, but yeah. So I think Agatha said that that in New York you guys don't do early voting to October 26th. Oh, and found out why she wasn't interested in dating because she's already with someone. She's been with some guy for 4 years who she's, contemplating taking it uh, further. So I had to give her some advice about that yesterday. So that's why she wasn't interested, bro, because she's already with someone. So that makes sense. But who knows? We might still get you connected. Yeah, she's with a guy for 4 years. Um, he wants to take it all away. She has the marriage jitters, and I told her, I was like, if she finds a good guy who's wants to make a good make a an honorable woman of her, she should do it. And she has some concerns, so I told her she shouldn't turn the guy down. I mean, if they've been together 4 years, I don't see leaving him now for what. I was like, consider doing some premarital counseling. So but she sounds like a good girl, to be honest. So, but I mean, you live in a city of like 8.2 million people. I'm pretty sure you're gonna find someone. And then you don't, and then that's just the city alone. If you include the whole tri-state area, that's like what, close to what, um, I don't know, like close to 20 million people, if you consider the whole tri-state area. So, but man, I wanted to live there a few years ago, but now with the politics there, I just don't want to be there anymore. It, to be honest, I don't want to be in Maryland either. I just want to get out of here, check in that passport, and be gone. But anyway, bro. So yeah, I've voted already. Yesterday was the first day of early voting here in Maryland, but it started Monday in some other states. But if Agatha is right, she said you guys don't get to vote early until the 26th. So you guys get to start Saturday, this Saturday, I guess. That's still not bad, but I don't see a lot of people going to do early voting on a Saturday. Well, other than the old people. I guess old people will. But yeah, man, like I said, this is Ask Me Anything Friday. So if people got random questions, as long as they're appropriate, you guys can go ahead and ask me. I got Officer Lumen on the job, so just know if you guys say something crazy, he might time you out. Luna says, yeah, that, but I ain't voting. Nothing personal. Oh, yeah, I remember that in the comment. You said you're not voting, and you know what you remember what I said. I was like, hey, I completely understand if some people don't want to vote. Completely understand. Some people are just like completely checked out. That's how I was during the midterms. When the midterms happened 2 years ago, I just didn't care. Like, Maryland made it a big thing today. Elected their first black governor. Well, semi-black governor. He's originally from the islands. Well, his family is from the islands, so he's whatever. He said, but good thing I'm off duty. Good stuff. Speaking of off duty, what happened with your burrito shop? With that, are you still going there after that lady flipped out? Are you still going to that burrito spot? But yeah, I don't blame you if you don't want to vote. Like I said, I was like that 2 years ago with the midterm elections. Like it was all about you know everybody was excited here in Maryland about electing their first black governor. I didn't care, and all the issues in 2022, I just didn't care, so I didn't vote at all. Um, my parents being older black people, they're more into voting. They was like, "Are you going to vote?" And I was just like, maybe." But I didn't. I didn't care. This the only reason I cared now with the presidential elections was just to show my dissatisfaction with with everything Democrat. Like Maryland's a blue state, just like New York is a blue state. Everything is democratically run, and I see that the state is just poorly managed. So the funny thing is, even though I voted against blue, completely down the ballot, I know it's not going to matter much because most of the people here are, registered Democrats, or even if they're independents like myself, they're still like liberal leaning independents. So I already know that the state is going to go to Harris. The the Senate, I'm not sure. The Senate is probably gonna go to Angela Also Brooks. She's like this black woman who's a prosecutor in Maryland. She's basically a wannabe Harris, just like um just like Governor West here in Maryland is a wannabe Obama. Like she's like a wannabe Harris, Angela Also Brooks. Um and then the Senate the House representative, he's a white guy, but he's a Democratic liberal. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get reelected. So he said, nope, she lost the business and got slapped with a big bill. Oh, that was her business. I thought she just worked there or was a manager there. I didn't know that was her establishment. He said, but she sued me for tasing her. Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, so she's so she's so she's pressing a civil suit against you for tasing her. Um, well, I mean, good luck with that, man. That's one of the reasons I'm kind of glad I didn't become a cop. Like when I first came out of the army, and I was in the Army Reserves. Um, Originally, I had contemplated not finishing college. I thought, hey, I'll just become a cop and get certified in my martial arts and eventually open up my own school after I leave the force. But my better side told me, hey, go back to school. So that's what I did. um, but I did almost become a cop here in Baltimore County, Maryland. Um, 20, 25 years ago. Yeah. Power of India is hi, hi, bro. Love from India. What's up, Power? Um, but yeah, guys. So for people just coming into the chat, I think I only see three people, including Officer Lumen. For people coming into the chat, if you guys want to ask me questions, go ahead. Mind you, there's some topics I don't know about, so there's some international topics I won't know about, of course. Um, and if you come here ask me about sports and video games, I don't know sports and video games. Anything else is on the table, pretty much. Like if you want to talk about politics, you want to talk about um, movies, you want to talk about martial arts, you want to talk about academics, particularly science or philosophy or history, um, whatever. Like I don't care. Ask me whatever as long as it's appropriate. Go ahead. But yeah, so I guess you won't be going to that burrito place anymore. But I'm sure there's like 1,000 burrito spots to hit up. I think if I was a cop, I'd probably gain so much weight because I'd be constantly eating. But if I were in New York, it'd probably be like, I don't know, pizza, pizza, or what's something that would be fast and easy to grab? No Diddy. Um, it wouldn't be glizzies. I couldn't eat glizzies every day. He said the rest of the burrito spots are ass. I mean, you don't like um what's the Middle Eastern food? The I'm about to say chalupa, not chalupa. The I'm talking about, like, the gyros and or whatever. It's not beef and beans. It's shit and beans. I mean, you can always do Chipotle or Kava, right? I mean, I know Kava and Chipotle aren't like authentic, but it depends. Like, I remember the first Chipotle to open up at my college back, like, it's like shit, 20, 25 years ago. It was like a big deal when they came. They came to College Park, and like pretty much all the people that work in there were Latino. But that's just because the people who lived in the neighborhood, a lot of them were Latino. Like, especially down Langley Park, the whole Langley Park and Tacoma Park area. If people are familiar with the Washington area, the Washington D.C. suburbs, like most of Langley Park and Tacoma Park were Latino, which is a short skip and a jump from College Park. So, yeah, most of the people working there were Latino, so it made Chipotle feel more authentic. Then I knew a Native American girl. She was saying they were actually pronouncing it incorrectly because she said it should be. She was saying when people were making fun of people who said Chipotle, she was like, that's actually the original pronunciation in Indian because Chipotle, or the because Chipotle is a pepper. Like she was saying that the name of the pepper actually isn't originally derived from an Indian word, but they pronounced it Chipotle. Um, so you can so if you guys say Chipotle or Chipotle's, either one is fine. Is it fair enough, but less accurate? All right, I'll give you that. But at least, I mean, you can make it your own way at Chipotle. I guess they could do it the same place at the shop you went. Um, I hate now how when people go there, they don't even get a burrito. They put everything in a bowl. To me, it's like, what's the point? If you're gonna put the rice and the meat and your onions and peppers in a bowl, you may as well just get Chinese food. Like, you may as well just get some Chinese food or something like the whole, or even like, I don't know, like some West Indian food. But the whole point of it being rolled up in a burrito or fajita was, is the whole point. Like, and I used to roll my burritos fat, like a, you know what I'm saying, like, because I would get it made as burrito, but I would have them add the fajita toppings as well. So I like this where they could barely roll that bitch. You know, so outing stuff in a bowl is screaming Chinese food. Thank you. Thank you, Luma. I'm glad someone else finally agrees with me on that. Like, what's the point of going Chipotle and you put everything in a bowl? Like, that's that's basically just Chinese food with Mexican spices. Like, that's that's basically what it is. Like, what's because people say, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Chipotle and get a burrito," and it's like I'm gonna get it in a bowl. That's not a burrito. Like, getting everything in a bowl, like that's I don't know. It's not like there's nothing wrong with it, but I like the convenience of it being in a burrito. That's the whole point for me. So that's that's like going to a steakhouse and instead of getting steak, you order like fish or something. Like I don't know. He's a, let me say I only get a burrito. Why get a bowl? I don't know. I think this started with women. My suspicion is that this started with women because it was easier for them to eat it out of a bowl than try to. Let me not say that. Um, Easier than them, trying to put the burrito in their mouth and nibble on it. I guess it was easier for them just to eat it from a fork in a bowl. So I was gonna say something else. I had to catch myself, but yeah, I think it started with women, and then guys were doing it too um, because it looked more classy eating it from a bowl with a fork, and I can see that because I'm gonna admit something. Don't get mad at me, all right? Don't get mad. So when I was in college, um, for a brief time, for about I'm gonna say about 2 years, my friends and I had some friends from New Jersey, and we would order pizza, but we would cut it up with a fork and a knife and eat our pizza that way because we were trying to look sophisticated or whatever. I look back at that now, and I deeply regret right eating my pizza with a fork and a knife, trying to look trying to look sophisticated. I realize now we look so pretentious doing that. But to me, that's exactly what people eating Chipotle out of a bowl look like. It's like it just looks pretentious eating a burrito out of a bowl. He said, "Well, when you think about it, a woman eating it like that is kind of sus." Well, not for a woman, because I mean, for a woman, it makes sense if they were to uh, want to imbibe the burrito whole. But usually, even then, before they put it, before they had like the bowl, usually I used to see the girls, they would like just cut it in half and eat it that way, or they would get the burrito and then they would still get like a fork and a knife to eat it. But yeah, again, don't hate me because trust me, that only lasted 2 years, bro. It was, and like I said, I got it from them because like they were on their pretty boy thing, so I was kind of imitating them. Like I was going to class dressed up. Most people go to class in like pajamas and sweats. we we were dressed up like we're hitting the club, going to classes, like 10, 11 in the morning. And I remember people even asking me, it's like, "What you going to work?" They're like, "Why you dressed like that?" I'm just trying to look snazzy, you know. They was like, "All right, I see you." I had my little satchel on instead of a book bag. I had my little leather satchel, um, and I would either have like a pea coat on or my leather bomber. But then I would have on like some everyday pants or slacks with like a dress shirt. I had the buttons open up so you could see the chain. Um, And people shooting outside, man. I hate this neighborhood. I live in a county and people are shooting. And these are not fireworks. I know a gun when I hear one. That's crazy. That's why I don't even take midnight runs around here anymore. Like around my grandmother's way is really safe. But most of the people around my grandmother's home, because if you notice, I'm back in my original place. You never seen this, but this is my original place, bro. But around my grandmother's way, I didn't mind doing midnight runs because it was safe. Like most people were homeowners, and most of those homeowners were either middle aged or elderly. So homeowners don't do stupid shit because when you got a mortgage makes you act right. Most of these niggas around here are just renting. But yeah, getting back to the subject. Um, those little gunshots took me out of my frame of mind. But yeah, um, the thing with like I said, we were all just trying to be just being pretentious, like I was saying. Plus, we used to always it was this girl for like a good almost like a good year. This white girl we used to finesse that worked at this pizza shop in the student union, and we used to always just flirt with her, and she would just give us free pizza. The funny thing is, I'm looking back at it now, like why didn't I actually ask her out? She was like, I mean, she wasn't bad looking. Like she she was a thick white girl. Like she wasn't, you know, she wasn't like the Becky type. She was more like the Samantha. Okay. Um, but she was cool. The funny thing is, one of my homeboys ended up dating her, and she talks trash about me to him, saying, "Oh, he used to just come over and get food from me, and he would never take me out." And I told my friend, I was like, "Yeah, I did." I was like, a couple of us did. We just went to her and she gave us free food, so that's what we did. And like I said, we would cop the pizza because we were broke college students, and I would sit there in the student union cutting it up with a fork and a knife. I, like I said, they were from New Jersey, so I was like, shit, if they from New Jersey, I don't care, I'll do it too. So I started cutting mine up with a fork and a knife. But like I said, that's 2 years out of 47 years. So he said Samantha or Shaq O'Neal. No, she was like, when I say thick, she wasn't like, when I say she was thick, she wasn't like obese. It wasn't like that. She was I would say slightly chubby, slightly. Because I don't like big girls, never have. But she was, thick. That's how I put it. Like she wasn't sloppy, she wasn't fat, and she definitely wasn't obese. She was just like thick. So, and honestly, the only reason I probably didn't ask her out back then was because I would have been embarrassed to go out with a white chick at the time. Like I said, I missed. I don't think you were in the stream when I said this before, but like I said in a previous stream many months ago, I missed out on a lot of good interracial opportunities when I was younger because I was trying to only date black chicks or whatever, and so but it was in college when I really kind of stepped out of that and was more comfortable dating chicks that weren't black. But it took college to do that. But like I say, even in college, I didn't want to do it because because I was under this. I was I was brainwashed like a lot of brothers were back then, who thought that guys who chose like non-black chicks over black chicks were somehow corny or had less game than other guys. And that just completely wasn't true. Like I said, that sort of mindset that was reinforced by black chicks at the time probably kept me from a lot of good opportunities, honestly. Um, like I said, her for instance, and there was like two other, there was like a few other white girls as well. I had a chance to date in college, and I didn't. Uh, I remember this. I've told this story before too, but I don't think you've heard it. So it was this one guy I knew in college. He was a really good dude. He was cool as hell. I wish I stayed in touch with him honestly, because I lost touch with so many good dudes back in college. He was the most positive guy one of the most positive guys I ever known. And it wasn't like he was on some religious vibe or anything like that. He was just like a you ever seen just someone who's just like naturally just like a happy person? He was like that. Like we would go study or whatever. He was telling me, he's like, yo man, he said, I like going to the such and such library. He's like, it's nothing but Asian girls down there. He's like, man, he's like, he said, I'll holler at them and stuff like that. He said, I even, been on a few dates with them. I'm like, for real? Word? I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. And we would go down there, he would show me, and it would just be like 30, 50 Asian chicks just in there just studying silently to themselves. And the funny thing is, they all looked alike. Like, I don't know if you ever watched How I Met Your Mother, but there was an episode of How I Met Your Mother when when they saw all the girls together, and when the girls were all together, they all looked the same, they all looked good. But he said if you look at them individually, like some of them are hot, some of them are not. But Barney was like, there's this group effect that when you see all a bunch of girls gathered together, like they all have this hotness as a group. But if you look at them individually, it's way different. So that's how exactly how I was seeing too. Like when I saw all these 30 to 50 Asian girls just all studying in mass, um, like they all seemed like these little nerdy but cute girls. And he was like, "Yeah, man, I go talk to them." One of my other friends, the guy who told me to start this YouTube channel, he was all about non-black girls too at the time as well, because he got more luck with them. Like he would go after like Indian girls and Arab girls, Muslim chicks, and I'm like, "Yo," I was like, "You getting any, are you getting any play out of them?" He's like, "Yeah, a few." And so even though the numbers, I don't know if the numbers worked for them or not back then, like they seemed happy with it. And like I said, I remember the one particular guy who had the Asian fetish before I had an Asian fetish. He was like, "Yeah," he said, he said, man, that's what I like." He said, I go talk to them sometime. Now, mind you, like I said, he was a really positive dude. And even though he clearly had a preference for Asian women, he's never said anything bad about any other group of women. He never said, I don't like black women. He never said, I don't find them as attractive. He never said, I don't like white women, or I don't like Latino women, or anything. He never said that. As a matter of fact, I would always talk to him about the type of girls I was pursuing too. He would never say anything derogatory. He wouldn't roll his eyes. He wouldn't say, "Man, why you messing with them bitches?" He was really cool about it. So that was cool. Like we could talk about the chicks I like. We talk about chicks he liked, and like he never downplayed it. And I never downplayed the Asian girls he liked either. But I saw black girls talking shit about him. They was like, "Oh, that's that dude." They said, he corny. He don't even like black women or something like that." And I was like, "Yo, that's messed up." I was like, "That dude has never said one bad thing about y'all." When I was like, they out here trying to shame that man for his preferences when he's never said anything bad about them. And like I said, I wish I was where he was back then, 25 years ago. Because like I said, now I have an Asian fetish, but if I weren't married right now, I would have had less access to them here. You know, being outside of academics, like the best place to find women is when you're still in school. But or if you travel overseas. So um, shout out to him. Like I know I'm just rambling, but yeah, I just remembered that because, like I said, this was something I brought up long time ago in my streams. But I know you haven't heard me talk about that before. And like I said, it all came from the same time period that I was cutting up pizza with my fork and knife, a plastic fork and knife at that. So that made it worse. You got like a plastic fork and knife, sitting there trying to cut the shit out some rubbery ass pizza with a little plastic knife. and washing it down with Mountain Dew. That was so hilarious. And then we would drink either Sprite or Mountain Dew just so it wouldn't stain our teeth. That's how literally that's how goofy we were. Shout out to Ben and Keon. That's still funny. Said Samantha or Shaq O'Neal. Nah, she was cute though. She was a cutie. She like I said, she was just thick, but not fat thick. Like thick, like you would smash thick. And like I said, the only reason I didn't date her is because at the time I was thoroughly brainwashed by black women to think that guys who went after non-black girls were somehow corny, and that just wasn't the case. That was just their way of keep. That was just their way of keeping us in check, and a lot of us fell for it. But I, you know, I stopped falling for that like 15 years ago. No, well, longer than 15 years ago, but I would say I decided just not to date them at all, like about 15, 14 years ago. But back as early as my undergrad years in college, I realized I could find happiness in other women as well, not only black women. So I ended up dating like Egyptian and Indian and I guess Ethiopian is still black, Asian and um, pretty much everything. So, Austin, this is why I'm gonna tell you a secret from when I was in the fifth grade. Oh, here we go. I need to get my popcorn. So I have to get my popcorn. I'm just like waiting for you to type it out. Oh, and if we're gonna talk about elementary school, even back then I had uh, attractions to non-black girls back in elementary school. But again, the funny thing was I didn't feel any pressure to like only like black girls when I was in elementary school because no one had because at that young age no one has told me it's bad not to date black girls. So I had crushes on little white girls and stuff back in elementary school. Matter of fact, I remember when I was in the second grade, um, I gave this girl my number. I don't know why I don't know why she wanted my number, but I remember it was this white girl and she kept calling my house like two, three, four, 5 times, and he was like, "I'm on, it's for you." I'm like, "Huh?" and and it was the same girl. She just kept calling me. I didn't because I was like only 7. I didn't realize she had a crush on me. Like I just thought she just wanted to be. I thought she was just being a good. I don't know. I think she was just like because we were new friends. She was just excited to be friends. Then in the fourth grade, I had a crush on this white girl. I think her name was Abigail. Uh, then in the seventh grade, when I started junior high, there was this girl that I liked, and she dated a guy who was a friend of mine, but they were no longer together. And it was even other people, other black uh, guy, no, other black girls saying you guys would make a good couple, and she started blushing, but I never asked her out. But then I asked out some black girls, one who turned me down because she was dating another guy, but she still gave me her number. Then another girl, I got her number, but I didn't want to date her because she had like little peach fuzz on her lip. Then there was another one I asked out. She was like biracial, and she wasn't interested. But the funny thing is, she had never talked to like black dudes before. And then after I tried to holler at her, everyone else in the seventh grade, all the other black guys that I was friends with, like then they were trying to talk to her too. Like I basically put her on the map for other black guys to like. It was like funny because her name was Becky, but she was like biracial. And then she had a white friend who I guess was her best friend as well, also named Becky. So they used to always hang out, the two Beckys. uh, and then like in and, and then at the time there was like a white girl that lived in my neighborhood. We were like always friends, but she was like a tomboy. But then I guess we started having a crush on each other, but it never went anywhere. We just kind of stayed buddies until I moved to Baltimore, back to Baltimore. Um, then I had a little crush on a little chubby white girl in high school that never went anywhere. And that was about it until again college. Then, like I said, it wasn't until like my senior year that I actually started dating non-black chicks. Was my senior year. I had almost dated like this Latina girl in high school when I moved to the DC suburbs. The problem was I had originally hollered at her friend, and but then I started liking her better, and she was like she couldn't date me because I already talked to her friend. I was like, well, we. I was like, why? What's the matter? I was like, we didn't go out or anything. I said, she's like, no, but that wouldn't be good to my friend. I'm like, you don't owe her anything. I even it got so deep. Like I even had like one of my Spanish homeboys write a love letter to her in Spanish for me, and she was impressed. I think it almost got her. I was like 17. Yeah, almost got her. She was like, she's like, did you really write that? I was like, well, Edgar helped me. I said, I was like, she knew him. Like, I was like, well, Edgar helped me. I was like, everything he wrote, I really meant. She was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, what do you think? She was like, honestly, she was like, what you said was really beautiful. So I don't know what the fuck he wrote because he never even told me in English what he wrote in the letter. But whatever he said, it was some good shit. I'm not gonna lie. He said some good shit. So shout out to my my Latinos out there, man. But yeah, he wrote some good shit, and she was like, honestly, she's like, if you didn't talk to my friend after that letter, I would have went out with you. I was like, damn it. I was like, yo, what's up with that? And then that wasn't even the end of it, guys. Then um, we went out one night, late at night, a bunch of us as a group of friends, um, and we played with. I know this is gonna spook some of you guys out, so some of you who are religious, you know, sorry, but yeah. So then we went out late one night and played with a Ouija board. I forgot whose Ouija board it was, but we went out there, and the only reason I was going out there was because she said she could make it. Like, cause my other homeboy, he was like half Filipino, black or whatever. Um, he told her to come out there, and a bunch of us, a couple of us went out there, and we went out to this field near where we lived, and played with the Ouija board. And the go we asked the ghost questions for me too. Like he was like, um, I think I can't remember the name. I think her name was Maria. No, I think it was Christina, something like that. I think it was either Christina or Maria, something like that. And we was asking the ghost, like, hey, should should Christina um, go out with Amon? And the spirit said yes. And asking the questions like that. And so the next day, my homeboy was asking her. He was like, "Yo, what's up?" He's like, "Yo, the spirit said you should go out. You should go out with my homie." She's like, "Yeah, but I can't because he asked my friend out." And I'm like, "Yo, why she keep saying that?" I was like, "I only asked her out once." I was like, I was like, her friend and I did not ever date I didn't get, I don't even, I'm not even sure if I'm not even sure if I got her friend's number, but I asked her out because we all live right around each other. So I was like, I don't know why she kept saying that. So it was a hit and a miss. But yeah, that was like my first time I like really pursued like a non-black chick was this Latina chick. She was really cute. Her friend was cute too. Like her friend was like I think Guatemalan or whatever. Her name was Rosemary, and Christina or Maria, whatever. I can't remember his name. It's Maria or Christina, whatever. She was I don't know what she was. She was probably Salvadoran, more than likely, but I don't know. But Rosemary was more like she was like an indigenous looking Latina, you know, looked like she was like straight, American Indian, whereas Christina looked like she was like almost pure Spaniard. So yeah. Anyway, that was like the first time I had really like pursued like a non-black chick. Another chance was when I used to go to Virginia Beach every summer with my father and found some Spanish chick from Ohio. She was really cute and she was in my hotel and we were like, yo, let's hang out and go downstairs to the pool and to the hot tub. And she was like, cool. Came with her little sister. But at the same time, my cousin and I hollered at some black girls from Baltimore. And then those girls decided to hang out with us downstairs at the pool. And that was so shitty. Like the Spanish girl came down there with her friend, with her sister. She was in a little cute bikini, and she saw me with this little black chick sitting on my lap. So she just walked away, and I felt bad about that, especially when I didn't even get any play from this black chick. Whereas my cousin was getting play from her friend, and I was like, I should have should have hung out with the Spanish girl, but I didn't, and I ended up seeing her again. We took pictures with each other because she had to go back to Ohio, and I should have asked her for her address or something to stay in touch. But again, this is the '90s, so this is why I'm envious of people today with the internet because back then, although we had internet, we didn't have the web prior to '94, and this had to been like uh, this was like '93, so a year before the web was released everywhere. So only way you stay in touch with someone is either long distance phone or by pen, you know, snail mail letters. So I think I either got her address and lost it, or I never got it from her. But she took some Polaroids of us, and then another opportunity happened as senior year of high school. The same year I tried to get with that Spanish girl. The beginning of the year, I met this black chick and this Vietnamese girl. The Vietnamese, both of them were into me, but the Vietnamese girl was like really into me. She was telling me like when she comes over the house the next day with her black homegirl that she planned on doing some interesting things to me. And the dumb thing is, after we got off the three-way phone call, I called the black girl up and asked her to be my girl, and she was like, "Well, what about so and so? Since she's coming over tomorrow." I was like, "Don't worry about it." I was like, "We'll tell her tomorrow." So I told her. So that's exactly what happened. The Vietnamese girl was pissed. She still came over, but she was like pissed, and I missed out on a good opportunity. So again, I was dumb. I would not make those mistakes again. Nicholas says it's 1 a.m. time for bed. It was time for bed for me like back around 11 o'clock, bro. So, um, but yeah, but I wanted to do a live stream that had nothing to do with politics today. So yeah, so anyway, all this to say, I missed out on a lot of good opportunities because I had this bias built into me that I should only date black chicks, um, and missed out on a lot of good opportunities. Like I said, even the time when I did pursue a non-black chick, I kind of messed that up. It was, but it was an honest fumble. But I've since corrected that mistake. Now I only pursue non-black women. Well, especially Asians. But I don't really see anyone in the chat, so I'm gonna probably end this soon unless I get some questions because this is supposed to be ask me anything, not me talk about anything. So, um, if I don't get any questions, I'm gonna just end this because I'm sure you guys just want to hear me talk about my childhood crushes. But aside from that, like I said, do you guys have any questions? If not, I'm gonna end this and do a few push-ups and go to bed. Gotta do push-ups every day to make sure that make sure you get the bitch out of you every day. Because American culture will try to keep you effeminate. So always gotta give yourself a little dose of testosterone every day. That's a bulwark against all the softening this culture tries to do to you. Pump a little testosterone in you every day, whether it's push-ups, hitting the gym, going for a solid run, hitting a punching bag, going to an MMA class, or traditional martial arts like karate or judo. Still good, still masculine, as long as you're not in the class with a bunch of kids. If you're in there with a bunch of grown men, good stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna do some push-ups before I go to bed. But I'm not catching any questions. I guess it's Friday night. People have better things to do. Kudos if you do. I know I would have 20 years ago. Definitely had better stuff to do. I was hoping I would see Agatha. She might give me a little update. But if she watches this on replay, she can always drop her updates in the comment section. Luma says I don't. But now after talking all this stuff about girls and whatever, I'm about to go, you know, have some quality time with the wife. Plus, she's feeling better now. All of the typhoons have been over in the Philippines. They had some really bad typhoons for the past week. Like the eye of the storm was over, like near where we live. So it was pretty scary. And I realized that we need to do some reinforcements on the house just to make it more safe. No, 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 no. When I say quality time, I don't. When I mean quality time, I didn't mean it in that sense. Like I'm about to do that. Like I wouldn't tell people that on video about Mrs. Contrarian. When I say quality time, I mean like we just gonna like chop it up and stuff. But not, yeah, I wouldn't discuss my those sorts of things with my wife online. Yeah, I just meant we just gonna chop it up a little bit and stuff. I wouldn't even do that with a girlfriend. Like I wouldn't tell people what we're gonna do. I know some guys that do that, like, but that's the not how I get down. But I just want to see what she's up to. So, but yeah, I think you're the only one in the chat, Officer Lumen. So I guess if no one has any questions for me, I'm about to wrap it up. I was hoping someone might have something to say besides someone telling me it's time for bed. Like that's crazy. Like I said, anything beyond for me, anything beyond 10 p.m. is pretty much bedtime for me because I'm my goal is to be up like at 4:30. So, but on that note, I'm not getting any other questions, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Lumen, you still gotta tell me about the the what was it, the fifth grade stuff. You can tell me that about another day. Mona said, "Don't know if you seen my comment." I don't think so, unless you just left it within the past hour or so. I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen any comments. Moonlit. Oh, Moonlit. I was thinking about you earlier too, because with the changing of the season here, I completely forgot that I needed some cedar for my medicine bag. So I went to one of the trees and like all the fallen pine needles. I took some of those and put them in my bag. So I have almost all my sacred herbs except for sweetgrass. That's the only one I'm missing. So I have my sage. Oh no, and I need tobacco too. I'm thinking of asking my sister, can I get some from her cigarette? But I have I have corn, and then I have two of my four sacred herbs. I have sage and I have cedar, but I still need sweetgrass and I still need tobacco. Then I have the then I have the different gems in it, the different colored gems, and I even have an arrowhead in my medicine bag as well. I still need to smudge it. Luma says, "What's up to Moonlit?" But then the last thing I want to do, I still need to get a smudge kit. I'd rather actually have like a holy man smudge it, like maybe wait till I go to like somewhere like Oklahoma or somewhere and take my medicine bag with me and then ask a holy man if he can smudge it for me instead of me doing it myself. Like it doesn't seem the same to smudge it myself because I'm not a native. I'm not a native and I'm not a holy man. So it would seem kind of pointless if I smudged it myself. So I'd rather take it, take that my prayer feather with me to like I'm guessing Oklahoma would be the closest place where I can, really find some authentic natives because there's not too many in this area. Like I've heard in Baltimore there is a native group called the Lumbe people, but I have never seen them. Even though they're supposed to be native to Baltimore, I've never seen the Lumbee people. So outside of the Lumbee people who are supposed to be in Baltimore, but I've never seen them. I have seen their office in downtown Baltimore. They do have an office, but I've never seen the folks themselves. So I might have to wait till I actually go somewhere where there are natives, even like even North Carolina. But if I'm gonna go specifically just to meet, just to meet up with native people, I may as well go to Oklahoma than go to North Carolina. The only point to go to North Carolina would be to because I have family down there, but I don't know any of them. I don't know any of my family who lives in North Carolina. Mullen says Trump was on Joe Rogan and Andrew Schultz podcast. I remember he's supposed to be on Joe Rogan, but I haven't seen anything on YouTube yet about it. Um, he said he said hi Lumen. He said white sage is good and he seeds too. Yeah, I do. That's what I have, white sage. Plus, I like once I have all the sacred herbs in my venison bag. I love how it smells. I had one like 15 years ago with this group I was with, but after we all dispersed, like I didn't keep any of my stuff. So when I came back to Baltimore, I went to an actual like place in Old Ellicott City where there's a actual Native American artisanal craft store. So I went there and bought all the stuff that I needed, and all of the stuff there in that store is made by actual native artists and craftsmen. So I think I still want to get like like a Navajo blanket. I want to get that. I want to get a smudge kit. Um, and that's yeah, I guess that's it. Like a Navajo blanket and a smudge kit. And like I said, I still need to get two more of the native herbs. I need to get sweets. I need to get sweetgrass, and I need tobacco. Tobacco, I should be easy. I can, like I said, I can probably get that from my sister. Just get one of her cigarettes. He said any seeds too, paracord, knives, med kit. You can fit it in an Altoid box with hooks and a fishing line. Um, that sounds more like a survival kit. I wasn't trying to get a survival kit. A medicine. When I mean a medicine bag, I mean like a. Show you what I mean. Um, bag. It said reservations in Maine, Spokane, Washington, the most southern states. Yeah, but like I said, as far as reservations, I think the closest to me in Maryland would probably be Oklahoma. Unless I went all the way. Well, that's not true. Probably in New England, go to the Haudenosaunee people, but I don't know where they live in the New England area. I would have to look that up. But yeah, New England probably would be closer than going up to Oklahoma. I just kind of wanted to go to Oklahoma because it's more native people to live out there than I think in like the New England area. Because up north in the New England area, you got the Haudenosaunee, and I think you got some Muskogee people or something like that. Melissa says I'm watching Trump on Rogan now. Came out 2 hours ago. Most things like Sage and Smudge, etc. You can find on shop. No, no, no. I don't. But I don't want that fake stuff. I want like yeah. I mean, I was gonna buy a Smudge kit, but I'm only buying it if it's like authentically made by actual native artisans. I don't want no, not med kit, a medicine bag. I was just showing you a medicine bag. Like particularly like stuff that comes from the Lakota religion. Like I'm the most familiar with the Lakota religion. So so when I said medicine bag, I don't mean like a medical kit. I mean medicine bag like holy medicine. Like I said, my medicine bag consists of like an arrowhead, four gems representing the four different colors, like the red, black, white, and what's the other color? I think yellow, something like that. And they're all from this made up of the different stones that represent the four the 4-way path. Then I have the sacred herbs. Well, only two of the four: white sage and cedar. And I have corn sprinkled in it as well. Because usually when we used to do our little ceremonies, we would take corn and you know give give the corn off as an offering and stuff like that. Then I was gonna get a smudge kit, but I would get it from an I'm getting it from an actual native artisan. because I know going to that store, um, I can trust this actually coming from actual native artisans. It's not just some shit made in Hong Kong. I don't want some. I don't want some Native American shit made in China. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's not voodoo. Voodoo is you mix. That's a completely different religion. So voodoo is coming from the islands. Was a mixture of you know Catholicism with African Western religions when they kind of mixed their gods with the Catholic saints, voodoo or Santeria. You know, voodoo and Native American is completely two different things. That's like comparing Christianity and Buddhism, like completely two different things. He said, "Yeah, I see. I'm just folding laundry now, but I got you." He said, "Yep, red, white, black, and yellow. Same with the Micmac, which are in Maine, Nova Scotia, and even Louisiana." There's a lot of overlap between Native American religions, like there's differences, but generally they are well, North American Native religions, I should say. There's a lot of overlap, like belief in the whatever you want. They might refer to the Great Father or whatever. Like in Lakota they would call him Tatanka, no Wakantanka, which is like the Great Buffalo. But basically, all of them had like some vision of the the highest God amongst them being the Great Father. Or like I said, in Lakota they call him Wakantanka. And again, yes, um, wait, say and white too. And yes, I can maybe get you in contact with my biological father. He makes everything from dream catchers to sage braided. Yeah, I like the little braided sage. Those are cool because it looks like because it's braided to look like the um it's braided to like a woman's hair because it's supposed to be like representative of Mother Earth or um Makaina again in Lakota because like I said I'm most familiar with Lakota religion as opposed to all the others. So what they would call Mother Earth is Makaina, or in the masculine form Anchimaka. So he's a shaman blessed, but the elders he's in Spokane now. He's in Micmac, and his wife is Potney. Sorry if I misspelled. He said yes, it's braided, really cool. Yeah, I know. I remember used to buying all that stuff with my group, like getting all that stuff. Then we even had what we even eat bison stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I did not know how delicious bison was going to be. That was dope. But yeah, so that like I said, that was up top there. That's my where is it? Hold up. So yeah, that's my medicine bag, prayer feather. It's actually a turkey feather, like colored like an eagle feather, because eagle feathers are illegal unless you are actually native. And a dream catcher. So, it wasn't about bison being healthy. It was just that it tasted good. I don't work. Like I always tell one of my friends, he's kind of overweight. He always counting calories, and I'm like, I don't care about counting calories. I don't have to. I'm not overweight, and when you run every day, you don't have to worry about what you eat. So yeah, it's not about it being lean. It just was tasty. I was surprised because I was when I first tried it, I was scared it was going to taste like venison. Then I realized beef and bison are very related to each other. That's why bison being red meat as well. It pretty much tasted like burger, like it tasted just like beef. And I've had it in like the pot roast form, but I've also eaten it like a burger. And I'm trying to think if I had the 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 Slim Jim versions. I think is it the law? Yeah, the laws on our headdresses and actual wear for rituals and rain dances, etc., are strange except on reservations. Yeah, so like I said, it's a federal because the American eagle is a protected species. They do not sell eagle feathers. Only natives are allowed to have authentic eagle feathers. Otherwise, non-natives, you have to buy those little painted turkey feathers. I'm fine with that. He said chicken. What was Officer Lemon saying? Chicken USA. Some I don't get that. Oh, also, guys, if you go to the Native American Smith, it's called with the National Museum of the American Indian in Washington D.C. It's a Smithsonian museum. They have a restaurant within the museum. See, I went there when it first opened back in like 2004. So they have a restaurant in the museum that has authentic Native American food in it from every part of the country. So you have food from the Southwest, so you can get stuff like Navajo tacos, or from the Northwest, where you can get like the stuff centering like on fish, or you can get the stuff from the Great Plains, like bison and all that sort of stuff, and stuff that comes from like the South, and I think stuff from like the New England tribes, like so they represent all of that in the restaurant in the Native American Indian Museum at the Smithsonian in Washington D.C. So it's a really cool museum. I was planning on actually going back. Right now they're going to have a special thing on the Day of the Dead. The what is it called? Dios de la Muertos. So I don't remember. However you say it. I'm sorry, but they're doing a Day of the Dead thing at the museum, or they already did. I'm not even sure what day it falls on, but uh, it looks like a cool exhibit. And I remember the first time I went there, my friend and I. It was funny. She's Indian, but she's East Indian, like she's Asian Indian, not American Indian. And it was cool that our tour guide was a an authentic Native lady, and she was both Hopi and Navajo, and she was saying how like the American for government purposes, if you're a native and your parents are of two different federally recognized tribes, you can only choose one because for certain benefits, when you're a part of a Native American tribe, you can't claim two different tribes. So she said she had to claim Navajo or Hope or Hopi, and it was cool because like she was like really uncut in what she said, and my friend and I like we were talking, and I, I was like, yo, I'm really surprised. She's like, I said she is completely unfiltered, and my friend, she was a my friend that came with me, the Indian girl, the East Indian girl. She was actually my Greek sister, because for my fraternity, her organization is our our constitutionally bound sister group. So she was my Greek sister, so we was hanging out together, but we used to also date as well at the time. So, but yeah, we had a ball at the museum. And everything about it is so like everything is like crafted by actual Native American artisans when you go in there. Like even the outside of the museum, like they actually have like they have like a built they have a stream that's built around the museum, which is really cool. So you got this stream that's built around the museum, all this little artisanal work everywhere. You have actual native people working there as tour guides, curators, and experts on you know indigenous American culture. Then you have a restaurant inside where they sell authentic native food. So it's really good. I definitely need to go back before I move overseas. That's something I definitely need to do. Moon says you can view a lot of it on their website. That's what's up. Uh, Officer Loomis says my battery on 3. All right, bro. How do you gotta go? Well, I'm gonna go soon anyway myself, because I was hoping I was gonna get some people on here that would ask me a bunch of questions, but it's been kind of low on the following recently, so I'm gonna have to do something to spruce things up. One says the museum. You can see my great uncle in the Nova Scotia Museum, but can see free online if you Google Micmac and hold on tight Lumen. He said, LOL. One says exactly can't claim two tribes. Yeah, he said good. I like to hear it's actual natives doing a tour guide. Yeah, she was beautiful too, by the way. Like if I wasn't with my Greek sister at the time, I mean, I don't know. I might have had to flirt with her a little bit, but she was really cute. um, but yeah, I definitely want to go back. And even in Washington D.C., they hold powwows. They have powwows in D.C., and I think these people come from all over the country to do the powwows. But like I said, I want to actually go to native land and witness this sort of stuff. Like I said, that's why I said I'd rather take my medicine bag to actual reservation land and have it smudged than buy a smudge kit here and do it myself. That just doesn't seem the same. The only reason I want to get a smudge is just to have it for my house, you know, for the sake of having like something collectible, especially when I move overseas, because this will be like all my American type stuff that I have overseas with me. But yeah, as far as getting my medicine bag smudged, I actually want an authentic holy man to do it. So powwow in DC. No, these yeah, they hold them in DC. I think every year. This has been going on for decades. It's not sketchy. Like these are actual like people come from all over the country to DC. Because you gotta remember, in DC you have the National Mall, so there's a huge area where people can can gather. So yeah, these are authentic. These aren't people from DC. These are people from all over the country that come to the powwow in DC. It's a national powwow. So um, yeah, I remember DC is the capital of the country, so of course it's going to attract people from all over the country to come there, including native people. I mean, there's even native people from that part of the country. Well, not that part of the country, but from Virginia, the Powhatan people, the people that Pocahontas was related to, the Powhatan people. I think they got federally recognized now. I'm not sure. I think so because back at the time when the museum was established, it was only 563 federally recognized tribes. Now there's like about 590 of them that's, that's been federally recognized. So I think they probably got their recognition. And those don't include like the ones from Canada and the ones from Mexico and other parts of Latin America. There's the the fairly recognized tribes just refer to the ones within the United States, and there's a few in the Caribbean as well. Like, although Columbus did wipe out the Taino people, well, no, I mean, no, it wasn't Taino people. I'm sorry. The Taino people are still kind of there in Puerto Rico, I guess, mixed with everyone else. And there's a native people in Dominica, but I think he completely wiped out through genocide that the Arawak people. And there was native people in Jamaica at one time as well, which is where the country gets its name, Jamaica. It originally came from a native word, Yamaka or something like that, or Yamika, or what, however they pronounce it. I'm not sure. But the West Indies was full of native folks, which is why Columbus thought he had made it to thought he had made it to the East Indies because because the native people of the Caribbean were of the same complexion and dress similar to the people in the East Indies, particularly the Spice Islands, which is modern day Indonesia. Columbus died thinking he made it to the Spice Islands, which is dumb, being that there were other explorers before he died that had already discovered actual North America, like Amerigo Vespucci, which is why America got its name from him. But whatever, he probably died of syphilis anyway or something. All the graping he did. But anyway, I'm not gonna talk trash about that man because Columbus Day does have its role in American history, as does Indigenous Day. I mean, I think you can literally celebrate them both. I don't think it has to be either or. It's sort of like saying that you can only celebrate Christmas and or Hanukkah, and you can kind of do both, especially if you went to school and they were trying to be open to everybody, like they were in my school back in the 80s. We were celebrating Christmas and Hanukkah. We would get little Christmas stuff, and then we would get little toy dreidels too. Moonlit says Columbus was an awful person, but history is history. I agree. I completely agree. He was an awful person, but history is history. And there's some conquistadors that some people find worse than he was, like the guy who explored and discovered and explored uh, up Florida. What was his name? Not Ferdinand. Whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna go, man, because between you and Lumen, I didn't have really anyone like chatting it out with me. So I'm gonna go talk to the wifey before I go to bed. But I appreciate it, Moonlit. Let me know next time you're doing a live too, by the way, so I can jump in at least for a few minutes. All right. But I appreciate it, man. And people watching this on replay, if you guys want to ask me any questions, just leave it in the comments. And if you want to support your boy, give me a like and a subscribe. You can join and become a member for $2.99, or you can send me a super thanks. Amon says rest up. My notifications didn't show, so I just checked in. Appreciate it. All right, bro. Thanks. But I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Thank you.